Amanda Azalia, and now I want to solve the mathematics word problem about linear equation. So, I want to read the question first. The question is, there are 356 8th grade students at Stars Middle School. 34 more than 4 times the number of girls is equal to half the number of boys. How many boys are in 8th grade at Stars Middle School and how many girls? Okay, first we need to define the variable, so we need to look back at the problem and see what variable that we need. So we have got some students and now we are talking about the boys and the girls. So we could write the given from the question. The given from the question, we could let x be the number of girls and let y be the number of boys. And then we have variables defined. We can begin it into the mathematical sentence. The first thing we know is the total of the 8th grade students at Stars Middle School is 356. We can write it x is added to y equals 356. And the second that we know from the question is 34 more than 4 times the number of girls is equal to half the number of boys. The mathematical sentence, we can write it as 4x is added to 34 equals a half of y. Nah. And the next is the problem of this question. The problem is how many boys and how many girls? After we know the question, we can solve the problem. If we can see in these equations, to get x, we can multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times the product, the sum of 4x is added to 34 equals 2 times a half of y. And we can get 8x is added to 68 equals y. So after we get this, we have an equivalent equations. And the next, to simplify this, we can substitute the equations. The first equation is x plus y equals 356. In this equation, y equals 8x is added to 68. So we can simplify this with x is added to the sum of 8x is added to 68 equals 356. And then 9x is added to 68 equal 356. Now we subtracted both sides by 68. 9x plus 68 minus 68 equals 356 minus 68. So 9x equals 288. And then we divided both sides by 9. So x equals 32. As we can see in the given, x is the number of girls. After we know the number of girls, so it's so easy to find the number of boys. We can see in the first equations, x plus y equals 356. We know the numbers of girls is 32. Is added to y equals 356. Now we subtracted both sides with 32. Now we can simplify y equals to 324. So we get the answer of the question is how many boys and how many girls in 8th grade at Stars Middle Schools. The girls in 8th grade at Stars Middle School is 32 students, and the boys are in 8th grade at Stars Middle School is 324 students. So that's all my presentation. I'm sorry for mistaken words. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.